Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for him. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Well, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides, poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp.
Yes, it is. It is time for hemp. Thank you for tuning in to the big broadcast today. We ask that you share us with your friends. My name is Casper Leach. I am your host of the big broadcast. And we ask that anytime you hear the word joint, you take a hit off your pipe, your bong, your vaporizers, and join us in taking time for hemp. We have some joint guests on the program, and we have some joint hosts on the program for our joint chat today. And I'm going to bring on to our joint broadcast one of my joint friends here in the world. Name is Al Burr. He's got a groovy book that he's written with. And he didn't write it jointly with anybody. He wrote it by himself. And it's called, well, let's say I went to public schools, FOR, for country and canonymous, for country and canonymous.
Yeah, cannabis.
That's it, cannabis. Hi, Al.
Don't confuse anybody. Hi, Casper. Glad to be here, as always. We got a great guest, a Canadian, coming up. And yeah, I wrote this book. I did write it alone, if you will, but I wrote it about a whole pile of people who, in my estimation, over 40 years, actually were responsible for the medical cannabis aspect of our society that we have going today, the legal states, the medical states. Who did that? How did they do it? That's what that book is about. It identifies those people that I think were pioneers, and there's no telling the numbers, the extreme numbers, millions of people that have been helped because of their work and sacrifice 35, 40 years ago. So that's what it's about. But today, we're going to remember one of those people. Actually, the folks that I wrote about are generally Europeans and U.S. citizens. But today, we're going to remember a very wonderful Canadian citizen. And I'll leave it at that. So in order to introduce the Canadian citizen of the day, I'm going to introduce another Canadian citizen of today, Al Graham, Ontario man.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Groovy, hi. How you doing, Al?
Doing all right. What can I say?
You're still broadcasting on the Pace Radio Network?
That's right. People advocating cannabis education. We have programming 7 days a week, cannabis as well as psychedelics, to get yourself some news as well as interview with patients, and you just never know what's going to happen.
And you do some joint broadcasts there around the country too, don't you? You're out and about sometimes working jointly with fellow activists.
Oh, yes. We go around and go to different events, do interviews, as well as with the Pace Network also works with another network called 420 Radio, and we combine our shows and programmings together on a network called the 420 Pace.
Groovy, and I understand you're bringing one of your joint friends to the broadcast today, who is, as we sometimes say in America, he's a breeder.
Well, he is.
He's a breeder.
He sure is.
We're talking about plants.
Cannabis, He's a breeder for cannabis. Yeah, our guest today is a legendary cannabis grower, breeder, cultivator. He's known for his work on the Afghani Bull Rider strain. He's been working within the cannabis industry here. He's co-founded a cannabis brand. It's all capital letters, but I'm just going to call it Bull Rider. And he's a well-known figure within the community. He's also a prolific writer on cannabis, as well as other botany, and as well as his focuses on cultivation. We'd like to welcome Jef Tek to the Time for Hemp show. How you doing, Jef?
Hey, how you doing, Al, Casper?
You got
Glad
quite
to
a
be here.
resume. You got quite a resume there, Jef. Sounds like you've got quite a bit of history behind you.
Yeah, I've kind of always been a Jeff of all trades. If you could break it, I could fix it.
And you're a dog person. Everybody on this show is a dog person.
Yeah, there's Tuffy hanging out. Tough Gong.
Tough
His,
dog.
his sister is Marley Montenegro, and she's inside. She doesn't like the sun as much as we do. She's the dark one in the family.
Where are you, Jef? Where are you
when
physically located?
When you breed plants, I mean, is it like you just like slice one here, slice one there, and stick them together, wrap a little tape around it, and cross your fingers, or
No,
how do you crossbreed and breed?
I put a male and a female in the master bedroom, a little vino, put on some Dean Martin, and just let the magic happen.
Al, what were you asking, Jef?
I was just, for the audience, where are you, Jef, in the world? You're in Canada. That's a big place.
I'm on my back porch right now.
Okay, you want to remain hidden, that's all right with me, but we just want
Nah, we're in beautiful British Columbia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
Tourist. Yeah, it is beautiful. Wonderful.
It's nice out. I figured I'd get some sun while I was hanging out with you guys.
Sure.
Little sun.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a TV show, so it's action. See, you're moving around, and that's good.
Right on.
And then we have your puppy back there too. She's right in the show, so we're good. Well, I'm going to drop here and let you Canadian guys get on with this thing here. So,
all right, Jef, I mentioned a bunch of stuff about you and your past and that over the years. You want to talk a bit about that, and also today we want to talk a lot about Michelle as well.
Well, so I was born and bred in Chicago, Illinois, originally. Then I started growing weed and got kind of infamous, so I decided to park my hat under the 215 umbrella and went down to San Diego, El Cajon to be exact, the box. And one thing led to another, and I became introduced to Michelle Rainey. She came down and visited me for the very first batch, coincidentally, of Afghani Bull Rider, which I got from a local. Now, he didn't know how to clone. He was a seed hoarder. He had like a whole file box full of seeds. It was crazy. But the Bull Rider actually was an accident. It was a crystal laden male in his backyard that, we all thought it was a female. I mean, anybody in their right mind would have figured it was a female because it was just coated with resin. It turned out to be a male, and that was the Afghani, and it pollinated Bull Rider that was grown in his backyard, creating Afghani Bull Rider, which is technically Bull Rider Afghani, but it doesn't sound right. So I cleaned it up, I cloned it, and it was an outdoor strain, and there was no reason that it should ever grow, fruitfully indoors. And it did. It prospered, and I've been growing it for 22, going on 22 years now.
Nice.
Crazy. Well, Michelle was there for the very first batch, and they were just little, 16-inch tall little, budlings.
Yeah.
And they were hanging up, and they coincided with her visit, and she loved it. It really helped her Crohn's. She told me she had a strain up here, Williams Wonder.
Yes.
It was okay. She said, but that was her go-to, and it was harder to find it. Well, pretty much just told me, we need you up in Canada. And I specifically moved to San Diego because I didn't know anybody there. I didn't really want to be tied down in any way, shape, or form. So the whole reason that I'm in Canada and I'm a now a permanent resident is because of Michelle. I mean, she's like, we need you. We need you for the activism. So I came up and we got married at the fourth the fourth and final Tokers Bowl was in 2005. I was here in 2004 for the third one, but we got married. We actually got married at Mona's restaurant at Final Judgment on the 4th of July, which is U.S. Independence Day. I got hitched. 24 days later, 25 days later, the U.S. DEA, in conjunction with the Vancouver Police Department, prosecuted a warrant for the arrest of Mark, Michelle, and Greg Williams. Mark Emery,
Right.
Michelle Rainey,
Yeah.
Greg Williams, and they became the BC3.
Yeah.
So that day I was the first one in cuffs, first one let go, because they only had a warrant for those three. They shut down the BC Marijuana Party on 307 West Hastings, and I walked in the front door, a confused individual, and I walked out the back door, an activist. So, yeah,
Yeah.
July 29th, 2005, the day that I'll never forget.
No. That I remember when all that happened, and yeah, a lot of people were like, "What the WTF" on that for sure, because of it was being run also by the U.S. government was involved in it. So,
Well, Jef, take us there. Why was Michelle arrested? What was her crime? And the other guys? I know, we all know, but the audience needs to know. Why were they arrested?
So they had Cannabis Culture magazine, and the BC Marijuana Party was putting candidates into ridings in and around Canada. And the USDA, their eradication on marijuana, kept finding Cannabis Culture magazines on the coffee tables of the arrestees. And so the
It was a
Washington
popular magazine. There wasn't
District
many like it.
Attorney.
It was just it and High Times and maybe like two others. So, I mean, they were. It was
but the thing is, the first 10 to 14 pages were all just seeds companies. And the USDA didn't take a cotton to that. So the Washington District Attorney figured it would be a feather in her cap to do a Tommy Chong type thing and go after Mark, Michelle, and Greg. I think it kind of backfired on him because, Mark did do 5 years down in, federal prison.
Yeah.
But, Michelle and Greg Michelle was posthumously released from probation and a year after she passed. So that was nice of them. And, it was the seed. It was the seed business. It was really radical at the time that somebody could just order seeds and get them from, from seeds from all over the world. Mostly, Europe, Germany, Spain.
which oddly now you can do. So, I mean, they served time back then for what is now a business globally.
Well, that's just it. Now everybody and their brother is doing it, but back then they were pretty much the only game in town.
Yeah, they got some attention, but when you look at the cannabis rules, even of the day, the seeds were exempt from that sort of criminality.
That's correct, because they're technically considered hemp until you grow it out and produce the final flower. So all cannabis is hemp, but not all hemp is cannabis. So yeah.
Correct.
Right, but from the Fed's point of view, it was all. But from a law point of view, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but the seeds were exempt. And for instance, if you even if you're in a non-legal state here in the United States, and you go into your local supermarket, whatever it is, even if it's an IGA, and you buy some birdseed, you look at the birdseed, what's in that birdseed, and you'll find hemp seed. Because
Exactly.
even back in the 30s, when hemp was marijuana and it was declared Schedule 1 and all that reefer madness shit, they made the exemption for the seed because it's so nutritious. But I don't want to get off it. But they essentially, these people were arrested, put out of business. It was awful. For really doing nothing. And like Casper says, nothing that we don't do now very, very well. And even then, it was kind of legal. So they were screwed. It was different back then.
Well,
You guys,
Yeah,
apparently,
things are definitely different.
yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
don't understand the risk of what went on back in those days. It was enormous.
and it
Well,
was
the
seen
risk.
that it didn't interrupt your breeding of your plants and crossbreeding and creating new genetics. Apparently, you continued on with your work.
What was that?
So that apparently it didn't interrupt your work in breeding and cross-pollinating and coming up with strains because you continued with your work, right?
Well, yeah, I'll never forget driving across country, taking Route 66 from Chicago through Texas, thinking if I got a blowout and, you know, a curious cop decided to look through my cargo trailer and find grow equipment, you know, I'd probably still be in jail in Texas to this day.
Yeah.
You know, it's very arbitrary down there, and it still is.
Mm-hmm.
But I took a huge risk, and then I took another huge risk coming to Canada. And then
Yeah.
Michelle was just a guiding light. She was just a bastion for hope and possibilities. She was self-declared the CEO of the BC Marijuana Party, and she wanted to be an MP. She wanted to be prime minister one day. That was her ultimate end game. She wanted to be prime minister of Canada someday.
Yeah, a
Maybe.
lot of people would have been rattled by all the arrest and the attention that she got from the authorities and the different detours that put you on your path in life. And it just made her stronger, more agitated, more determined. And she really didn't rattle. I mean, she just had a smile on her face and she came at you. I mean, she wasn't going to stop. I mean, she was friendly, but persistent, and she wasn't going to back down. And when grown men were running to their lawyers and crying to their mommies, Michelle was out there screaming at the judges and screaming at the lawyers and screaming at the politicians and not taking anybody's shit. I mean, she was an inspiration to a lot of people around the world.
Yeah, big time. Like, I know first time I saw her speak was for the Treating Yourself Awareness Forum in Toronto. And I sat there and I listened to her talk about, you know, dealing with Crohn's disease and because I have Crohn's disease myself, and listened to what she had to say, and I thought, you're up there talking about, you know, basically diarrhea, because that's what a lot of Crohn's people deal with. And people wanted to know, and I thought, geez, you know, if she can get up there, then I can get up there and say something too. So yeah, she was an inspiration to me to help me get to speak. No doubt about that. So, talking about
Absolutely.
Michelle,
I mean, she would. We were a great team because she would, you know, be making phone calls and doing the books for Treating Yourself magazine and, you know, helping out like a multitude of patients. And like even with the Toker's Bowl, she was in touch with these people for years before the actual ceremony. She was in touch with people all around the world. She would talk to them on a daily, sometimes a weekly basis, so that they could come and have a great time in, you know, the end of June, beginning of July. And I mean, she just had a multitude of connections, all the connections that she had. And then all of a sudden, you know, she'd like take a bath and do her makeup, and then she'd get quiet. And I knew what that meant. And the wheels were spinning, and she was thinking about the next video. And so I would just hobble off downstairs, make sure I got my camera and the the lavalier charged up, and I'd just get my tripod and think of an area, and maybe we go to the park, or maybe we go to the backyard, or maybe just in the office or the front yard, whatever,
Yeah.
wherever we decided. Be spontaneous, and without even talking, she just go, okay, I'm ready, and I'd bike her up, and hook it up. Testing, and of course a train would go by, whoop, whoop, something like that, airplane would go over, and she'd get like, they're making me wait. It was really cute and all organic. I mean, we were making YouTube videos 20 years ago, right? I mean, people weren't doing that then.
No.
It was still cats playing with stuff.
Yeah, I
And
know.
she was advocating for neighbors and friendship and camaraderie amongst the poop jokes. And yeah, she took it with a grain of salt. She really didn't have any. She was unabashed. She didn't care if she had. Like me, if I had Crohn's, I never would even left Chicago. I would have been like, my life's over. I don't know what to do. She didn't let anything slow her down. And I tell people this all the time. Like, she never took any sick days.
No.
She never took a sick day. She was diagnosed with melanoma in 2007, but that didn't slow her down. And she got radical neck dissection surgery in 2008, and she was ambulatory the next day. I mean, she didn't take a day off or nothing. She didn't take any no drugs, no medicine, no medication, just cannabis. My Afghani bull rider, and she took the world. She had the world, in her hands.
Okay.
And on the last day of September 2010, she had a doctor's appointment with her, family doctor, and she turned jaundice. She had yellow skin that morning, and she goes, "Wouldn't it be funny if I was pregnant?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that would be funny." So we went to the doctor. She kind of knew, and the doctor looked at her eyes, and said, 3 weeks. Well, I'll be damned. She passed away on the 20th of October. This was the last day of September. That's exactly 21 days. 21 days is 3 weeks. Dr. Fong was like dead nuts. I mean, dead nuts. 3 weeks. I mean, that was it. And then the first week, we did our wills. And the second week, she said goodbye to, we had Ian Mulgrew from the, from the newspaper, right?
Correct. Yeah, you wrote
Close
cannabis
personal friend.
articles.
Yeah, Ian Mulgrew came, he wrote Bud Inc., the book.
Correct.
He came and sat with her for 3 days. And she had a small assortment of family came, visited, and this and that. But she took it like a trooper. She was not afraid to move on. She was not, sorry. She was, she was like that bird that freezes to death, never feeling any remorse, no sorrow. She just kept moving forward. She wanted her body, to dedicated to science to help other people. But unfortunately, they can't use you if you have more than one ailment. And so the cancer that killed her she had Crohn's as well. So they can't study it because, multiple things. Other than that, she's still, her memory's on the mantle, and she continues to be an inspiration to me on just a daily basis. I mean, there's some days of, my arthritis is through the roof, and I don't take any medicine either. And what would Michelle do? She'd just laugh it off, eat some eggs, and go on about the day. And that's what I do. I don't take any medicine. I learned surreptitiously through YouTube, thank you very much, that if you take any kind of aspirin or ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, anything like that, you're actually blocking the thing that's supposed to help what you got, which is your I can't think of the word. Your collagen.
Oh,
When
okay.
when you bang your elbow and it swells up the next day,
Yeah.
that's the white blood cells, that's the red blood cells, and that's the collagen going to that area to fix that thing. That's the workers that are going. They're being assigned to fix the bridge.
All right.
So when you take Advil, you basically send the workers home. You tell them, no, I don't need you. So that's great. You don't have any inflammation, but you don't get better either. And so the collagen in your body, I believe it gets replaced every 99 days or 101, somewhere around there. So all the collagen in your body is constantly being like recycled, broken down, and replaced. So in theory, if you take Advil for 99 days, you say got the same collagen that you had 99 days ago. And now you're waiting for knee or hip replacement surgery because the collagen isn't doing its job. And then when you go for surgery, what do? They make you take like 7 Tylenol before surgery now. I mean, it's literally shooting yourself in the foot.
I can certainly tell you, Jef, that Michelle was not only an inspiration, but someone that I'd like to introduce to the audience. But we don't have the time to do that in this segment. It would be groovy if you could come back for another show.
Sounds great. I'll be there.
When you come back, we'll introduce the audience to Michelle Rainey in a way that might make you go, wow, they're really raising the dead at Time for Hemp.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for him. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Well, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides, poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp. Throughout Earth's history, hemp has been used, no mystery. Hemp was legal to pay you. It's for more than a centric act. Check your fixin'. Think of all its uses. It's money that's well spent. Right now, no excuses. It's time for hemp. Sustainable green industry, that's our intent. A better place this world will be. It's time for hemp. Fuel and food and clothes and soap. Housing, cars, yeah, cars, no joke. Henry Ford built a car, hemp. It's time for us to do it again. People will be employed with balanced farming as it's meant. Right now, it's time for hemp. Hemp is a necessity for the wealth and protection of this country. Thomas Jefferson spoke those words. He knew the value of these herds. Time to lift the hemp and it's time to make a strong stand. Yes, we can, I know we can. We can make a difference, yes, we can. Just like birds of a feather, we can work together and lift the hemp band. Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp.